Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 Formula 2 season for the antepenultimate round of the championship, or the third to last for those of you who did not just look that up on Wikipedia. So let's see what we can do. We've got a 9-point lead in the championship. It's been getting smaller and smaller over the last few races as Matsushita has been clawing back so many points with feature race wins and so on. So we need to do a better job here if we want to maintain the lead in the championship. Let's see if we can do that. So heading through our qualifying lap, this is our second flyer. We always seem to go better on the second lap in the Formula 2 cars. I think the tyres take a while to come up to temperature, and it's quite difficult to heat them up with a single out lap. So the second flying lap is always a little bit better, and sometimes even the third there is some improvement to find. But a bit of a mistake through the final corner, but the rest of the lap was pretty clean, so we'll see where we end up.
Qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Matsushita, DARUVALA and Pedro Piquet. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye.
Oh. That's not good.
Hello and welcome back to a classic circuit familiar to fans the world over. This is Monza. You can hear the cars ready to go. Certainly the fans are ready for some action. We're all set, so let's get this Formula 2 race underway. Monza is one of the fastest circuits in Formula 2, comprising some very long straights and tight chicanes. The engines spend so long at full throttle, in fact, that engine failures are not an uncommon sight here. On top of that, the 3.6 miles of track are pretty hard on the gearbox too. Turn 1 at Monza is famous, or should I say infamous, for serious contact and incidents, especially on the opening lap. What are your thoughts on that, Davide?
Yes, this chicane is a tricky one. A lot of time you see the more experienced drivers hold back from full throttle to keep themselves safe as everyone tries to squeeze into the racing line after the opening straight.
Well then, after an exciting session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. An immense lap from Nobuharu Matsushita yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Jehan DARUVALA in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Piquet, Ticktum, Marcus Armstrong, and Lundgaard, Galeo, Schwartzman, Sonoda, Artem Markelov, GHIOTTO, Dragovic, Giuliano Alesi, and Aitken, Sato, Schumacher, Delatraz, and Nikita Mazepin, Nissany, and Guan Yu Zhou. Samaya and Callum Ilott starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are on the grid then for the feature race here in Italy, and we'll see what the weather conditions are like. It looks like it is going to be all dry conditions, so let's just go to the 5 red lights. And lights are out. We are underway for the feature race here in Italy at the Monza circuit. It's a pretty ordinary start for us. A great one for Markelov, who goes to the inside of his fellow Russian Robert Schwartzman. We're going to see if we can find a window around the outside. Schwartzman leaves a bit of space for us. We're going to take it around the outside, but the inside here gets very tight. We have to take to the curb, and ultimately we have to back out of it. Felipe Dragovic now has a run to the inside, and he's going to take that position rather easily as we head through Curva Grande towards the Della Roggia chicane. We're going to see if we can make a move on Dragovic, and yeah, one of those positions back. We've got the inside of all three of them and back up into 8th position, one position ahead of where we started, and now we can try and focus on the next group of cars. We pass them very, very quickly, and we can try and put some pressure on the 2 ARTs ahead of us of Marcus Armstrong and Christian Lundgaard. Sean Galea is up there as well, and we will see if we can get all 3 of them. While it seems like they were battling a little bit just a moment ago, so if we can get amongst it, we should be able to make a couple more overtakes in the early phases. We lose the back end. Now Robert Schwartzman is going to try and come back at us. To the outside he goes as we head along towards Parabolica. Let's see if he can pull it off around the outside. We got the ideal line though, and we actually run a little bit deep there, and Schwartzman's going to get the switchback instead, and we're going to have to leave him a bit of space on the exit, make sure that we are going to hold him off for the time being. We move on then to the run towards the Della Roger chicane, catching up to the ARTs as we go up the inside of Marcus Armstrong, a little bit deep and missing the apex just slightly, but we do make the move cleanly on Marcus Armstrong. And now with a bit of time lost there with that overtake, it's going to be tricky to catch Lundgaard without the DRS assistance as we are on the run towards turn 1 on lap 3. But he's battling away with Sean Galale, so that's actually helped us get back within that window to get the DRS assistance. So that's helped us out as Galale is just about holding off the Dane, but we'll see if he can manage to do it. He's going to have the outside line as we head towards the Della Roger chicane. Once again, we go up the inside of Galale, a little look, and we're going to get Lundgaard as well, and round the outside of the second part of the chicane there, and that was a great move, and 2 overtakes at once on Galale and Lundgaard, and that is absolutely perfect up into 5th position. Next up, Pedro Piquet, who's dropped a spot off the start, I believe. So he may be lacking some pace, but a bad exit there for us. And here comes Lundgaard once again around the outside as we head towards Ascari, and he's through and up and into 5th position. So we'll just need to follow along for the time being. That's very close to the rear end of the ART there through Ascari, but thankfully no damage, no contact was made as we run wide. Thankfully Galale has dropped back a bit, but he does have a run. So we're going to have to watch out for him as he goes to the outside as we head towards Parabolica, but I think we should just about be able to hold him off here as we run him a little bit wide, but we do hold on to the position as we run wide ourselves on the exit just slightly. But yeah, we still are within range enough of Lundgaard. But as we continue on, we just don't have the pace that he does at the moment, and we're going to actually box early in this race by 2 laps to get an undercut, and hopefully that can get us back in the game with Lundgaard. He's not massively faster, but he's just slightly too fast for us to stay in the DRS range. And now we're under siege from Robert Schwartzman, who makes the move, actually cuts us off a little bit there as he locks up into Ascari, but no harm done, and he has got the position cleanly, and he is up into the top 6. We're down into 7th position, so a lot of work for us to do in this one, but we will try and come back at Robert Schwartzman as we head towards the first corner. Schwartzman defends, we go to the outside line, and we might be able to get to the inside here. Schwartzman leaves the space, and we will get the move done, but let's see what Schwartzman's traction's like. It's very good out of the second corner, and Schwartzman has done a great job there to retake that position, and we're going to see if we can make a move maybe into the Della Roger chicane up the inside of the Russian, and we sweep past and make the move stick, and very aggressively getting to that second apex there to make sure he couldn't come back at us, but it's not going to matter because towards Parabolica is down the inside again. This battle really heating up with Robert Schwartzman. We go wide to see if we can get a bit of a cutback, but that's not to make an overtake, that's to actually get into the pit lane. They didn't want to be stuck on the outside. This is our new lap to box, so we will come in and change these tyres and hope that we have some better pace on the harder of 2 available compounds. Normally I do prefer the harder compound tyres in these F1 games, both in F1 and F2, so these should give us a bit more of an advantage. So yeah, let's just hope that this can be a turning point for us, because we were steadily just dropping off the top fight in this one. We could really do with a safety car in this race to bring us back into contention. Well, a safety car after everyone else has made their stops, of course. We still want to get the undercut benefit, and that should help us jump back ahead of Robert Schwartzman, maybe ahead of Lundgaard if it's a really good undercut. So we'll see what we can do as we head out for our first lap on these new tyres. But as we continue on, a fastest lap of the race for us, and as people start making their stops, we are going to get up into 13th position ahead of Marcus Armstrong. He was already behind us. PK is out ahead of us, so we haven't jumped PK, but he was quite away in the distance. And yeah, that was Armstrong behind. But as we continue on, here's the important rejoin as we head past the pit lane. Once again, we do jump Robert Schwartzman, but we do not jump Christian Lundgaard. So he is out ahead of us, but he's on cold tyres, so we may have an opportunity if we can get up to the back of him by the end of the lap, as we are now in the 6th position once again. And with another fastest lap there, we are gaining on Lundgaard, so this is perfect for us. And as we continue on, we continue to gain on Lundgaard, so we do have better pace on these tyres. As we have a look up the inside, Lundgaard defends, but we do just about get to the inside line and make the move, as Lundgaard left us very little space on the inside very late in the braking zone there. So a little bit dangerous driving there from Lundgaard, but we do manage to get past him nonetheless. Continuing on, we are slowly chipping away and catching up to Pedro PK now. But a yellow flag up ahead, and that's Dan Ticktum with a mechanical failure right in front of us, and that's a disaster for him running in the podium positions. He will not be happy, and that's a safety car out now, and that is going to get us right back into contention with this man, Nobuharu Matsushita. He has led every lap of this race, and he will continue to do so under this safety car. No need for anyone to make any pit stops. So getting ready for the restart then, as the safety car accelerates away from the field through Ascari, and we need to immediately try and make a move on Pedro PK. It's going to be a 5-lap sprint to the end, so let's see what we can do. Straight away up the inside of Pedro PK, and we should be able to get this done. But PK, good momentum around the outside. We can't quite get the traction on the exit, and PK holds on. But towards the Della Roger chicane, we're going to go for a move up the inside, and this time we get it done. We had to make a bit of a secondary move to the inside, as he defended very late in the piece there, but we do make the move cleanly on PK. But unfortunately, it took us a long time to catch up to DARUVALA, who was not able to make a move on Matsushita on the restart. So Matsushita's gotten away with it here, as we go for a look up the inside of DARUVALA, but there's just no way we can get ahead from that far back. A bad run through the exit of Ascari. DARUVALA is going to hold on to that position, but here he comes around the final corner. Nobuharu Matsushita's done enough, and he is going to win the feature race here in Italy. Great drive by the Japanese driver, but across the line we come for a P3 and a decent result. But unfortunately, we finally hand over the lead of the championship to Matsushita. He has been so consistent in the recent races.
Well then, that concludes another excellent race. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
The safety car made a big difference today, there's no doubt about it. I can't be certain, but it would have been a very different race, and probably podium too without it. What I do know is that they came out of that situation in a favorable position. The safety car really does alter the balance of the race.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be MP Motorsport picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
So there we have it. Nobuharu Matsushita wins the feature race here in Italy. Jehan DARUVALA brings home P2. We make it a double podium for the Carlin team.
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Nobuharu Matsushita takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Let's give it to Yuki Tsunoda. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
On to the teams then. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, Prema have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way to the top. Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So there we have it then, the end of the feature race here at Monza. Monza always delivers, and it has once again. Really enjoyed that one, both driving and watching it back. But the pace was good at the end. I think if we had that pace throughout the whole race and started at the front, I think we could have, fought well with Matsushita. But unfortunately, starting down the field with a bad qualifying and just not having the pace in the first stint cost us. So yeah, we're gonna need to work on that. But this was a really nice move up the inside of both Sean Galale and Lundgaard, I believe that was at the time. Yeah, it doesn't say Armstrong. So yeah, I'm not too disappointed with that. Unfortunately, as I said, we do have to hand over the championship lead to Matsushita, but we'll see if we can get that back in the sprint race. We will be starting ahead of him, so I imagine we should be able to have a much better time there on my preferred tyre compound in these Formula 2 cars. So yeah, let's hope for better things in that one. So yeah, it's not an ideal situation with just 5 races to go in this championship, but like I said, sprint race is looking better for us, so let's just look forward to that. What else can I say to fill in time? Good bank of points for DARUVALA in this round. So far, 18 points for the second place there, so good points for the Constructors' Championship fight against MP Motorsport, because Drogovic was down the order, so good job from him today too. But anyway, on to the sprint race.
We're back. For the second race, we've reversed the top 8 from yesterday, and everyone here is getting ready for what's shaping up to be a thrilling conclusion to the weekend. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. They are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
So here we are on the grid then for the sprint race. We will be starting out of 6th position, our main rival in 8th. But anyway, no pit stops of course in the sprint race, no weather to interfere, so let's just get into it as we go to the 5 red lights. Lights are on. And the lights are out. We are underway for the sprint race here in Monza. And it's a pretty decent start for us, but we might be able to get up the inside of PK as we head towards the first corner. It gives us a big squeeze almost onto the grass as we have a look up the inside of Robert Schwartzman as well, almost banging tyres as he sees us there at the last moment. But around the outside we go of turn 2, and we've made that move rather nicely. The outside line working well there in this round so far. We were pinched on the inside for the feature race. That didn't work out for us well then, so we'll have to keep that in mind for future races at the circuit. But as we go for a little look, but nowhere near close enough to the back of the ART of Christian Lundgaard. But it's a good start for us, up into 4th position with Artem Markelov ahead of Lundgaard. So we'll see if we can make a move on the 2 of them and then challenge for the lead in the near future. So along the back straight, no DRS available yet, and you can see not a great exit for us, and we have to wait for another opportunity. But as long as we can stay close to this lot, obviously the reverse grid format helping us out here with maybe some slower cars up ahead, and Markelov hasn't had the greatest season so far, so he may be holding up Lundgaard a bit here. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. but from a long way back up the inside of Lundgaard, and that was very, very aggressive, but we got the car stopped and made the move cleanly. Oh, for goodness sake, that's a telephone. But meanwhile, for Nobuharu Matsushita, he has not made the best start, and in a big battle at the moment involving himself, DARUVALA, Schwartzman, PK, and Christian Lundgaard. So it's a very busy day for him in the sprint race. But meanwhile, for us, we are putting pressure on Artem Markelov as we head towards the first corner on a new lap. DRS open as we head to the outside line, and we should be able to get this done if we can carry the momentum through. But a little bit deep, it looks like, into the corner. We're not actually going to quite make it, and we have to take to the bit of escape road here and rejoin very slowly as not to attract any negative attention from the stewards. But meanwhile, behind, Matsushita making the move on, that is Christian Lundgaard, with DARUVALA slossing in behind for the time being. So he is making his way through the field, and Lundgaard seems to be struggling at this point, but with that,
as things stand, we'll be second in the championship.
we've already lost the championship lead yesterday, but with the way things were before, we would have regained it. But now Matsushita is back in position, so we need to get a move on here, and we do so up the inside of Markelov into Parabolica. It seems to be a nice overtaking place for us. Strangely enough, we seem to get a good run out of Ascari, a little bit wide there, but we do manage to make the move on Markelov. Armstrong, though, is a long way ahead, so it might be difficult to catch up to him, but we'll see what we can do through the rest of this race. A safety car would be quite nice, but yeah, we'll see. We're back in position to lead the championship. Very wide, though, and that's going to give Markelov the opportunity to get back past, and we lose the spot to Schwartzman as well, so another one to PK, and now our title rival Matsushita is right behind us once again. We're not going to let him pass. We've regained the momentum, but that is a disastrous couple of corners for us. We really didn't need to make that mistake. We were already well clear of Markelov, but just ran too deep into the first corner. It put us offline for turn 2 and just ran us wide. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. We need to get a move on again, because yeah, we need to beat Matsushita by more than just one position. And so immediately round the outside, done, ahead of Pedro Piquet. Next up, Artem Markelov, who's battling away now with Robert Schwartzman, and it looks like Schwartzman has got the ascendancy over the fellow Russian at the moment, but we'll see what Markelov can do in return. They're still battling away as they head towards the De La Roja chicane, and it looks like Robert Schwartzman is going to take that position. Markelov now into third and probably about to fall off the podium as we continue on in this race. DRS open for us. We make a very sudden look to the inside there as Markelov tries to defend, but we do get to the inside line, make the move on Artem Markelov, and now we go on board with Matsushita, who needs to be opportunistic here as the cars ahead battle away. That is PK getting ahead of Markelov as well. Matsushita not quite getting a run good enough at this point to make a move on Markelov, so unfortunate there for him. But as we continue on, you can see Matsushita is putting a lot of pressure on Markelov, so he is going to get there eventually as we continue on to yet again another lap. Markelov defends Matsushita to the outside, and let's see if he can do it. He's hanging it out there. He's going to have the inside line for turn 2 as we go on board, but a bad exit there as he is compromised on the tighter line. DARUVALA can't quite take the advantage, and for him it's going to be another lap stuck behind Markelov. But for us, around the outside of Schwartzman as he defends, losing the back end a little bit there as he goes into the first corner, but he's able to hold on as we sort of had to back out of it, and made us very slow through there. But looking back at Matsushita, he's got a good run once again on Markelov, who defends Matsushita to the outside as Markelov has a big lose in the braking zone. Luckily stays in control of his vehicle, but that's going to not quite actually allow Matsushita to get past. Very lucky for Markelov to get away with that. Have a look on board, and oh, that is very, very lucky for Markelov that that car did not end up in the barrier with 3 wheels on. But here's the onboard with Matsushita, goes to the outside. Markelov actually made quite significant contact with the right front of Matsushita. Very lucky for neither of them to have any form of damage from that. But here's the onboard with DARUVALA, who had a good look at that incident. But again, Matsushita was pinched on the inside line there and wasn't able to get the traction down on the exit. But as we have a look, this is from the back, and there's the contact. That was from the back of Markelov. So yeah, Markelov under a lot of pressure here, but he's managing to hold off our title rival for the moment, so he's being our best friend. But as we continue on, Matsushita goes for a different place, down the inside into Ascari, and he gets the move done. Great job by Matsushita to get the overtake done there, and he is through and up into another position. So good job. But Markelov back to the outside line as they head towards Parabolica. He is not done yet as they head towards the final corner. Markelov trying to hold it around the outside, doing a good job to keep the nose in, but looks like Matsushita is just about going to hold him off. But Markelov, it will have the DRS advantage as they head along the main straight. What can Matsushita do in defense? Has he learnt from his attempts to overtake in how to defend? We'll see as Markelov goes to the outside. DARUVALA might be able to get involved here as well, but he's got nowhere to go. Matsushita does take the inside line here. We'll give him the outside line. That worked so well for Markelov before, and it works well for Matsushita now as Markelov can't get the power down on the exit, and Matsushita is finally through and up another position. But once again, that puts us down into second in the championship. So we're going to see if we can make a move on Robert Schwartzman as we continue through this race, just ticking off the laps and getting closer and closer to Schwartzman after we lost that bit of time before. So here we go then, ready to make a move down the inside of Parabolica. Got a good overlap, so we're going to go late on the brakes, and we get past Robert Schwartzman, but a little bit slow through the corner, just overslowing it a bit. Schwartzman holds it through around the outside, and as we head towards the DRS zone, it's actually going to be Robert Schwartzman that gets the DRS open. So I'm not exactly sure where the detection point is, but Schwartzman has the straight line speed advantage, and there's a perfect demonstration of how powerful the DRS is, how quickly he pulled away there. We were going roughly the same speed before the DRS activation point. So yeah, that's a really great demonstration of the power of DRS, and yeah, Schwartzman with the straight line speed advantage. But another move up the inside, a much more aggressive one this time at the same corner, and we make the move and make it stick on Robert Schwartzman as we get a little bit up on the curb there on the exit, but surprisingly it doesn't affect our momentum too much, and we're going to be able to hold off Robert Schwartzman as we have the DRS this time. So I'm really not sure where the detection point is. That's a bit confusing, but anyway, 3.2 seconds to Marcus Armstrong, and by a lap of 19 that gap has disappeared, and we're going to go for the move up the inside. Marcus Armstrong defends very late, and we're going to actually have to take to the escape road once again, slowing it down and letting Marcus Armstrong retake that position. But Marcus Armstrong, that was dirty in defense there. We had already made the move. Armstrong defended after we were already trying to get to the inside line, and we end up dragging a whole bunch of rubbish onto the circuit. But yeah, we were already late on the brakes. Maybe we might not have made the corner anyway, but having to take avoiding action of Marcus Armstrong there, not impressed. But we'll have another chance to come back at him soon enough as we head towards the second to last lap. But we may have a chance before that, even towards Parabolica. It's been our best corner in this race, but we're going to back out of it, not make a move there. We're going to try and do this cleanly as we try and get a good run onto the main straight, but not really great traction out of the final corner, even though we were trying to get a better exit. So our tyres, I think, are probably wearing out a bit more than Armstrong's at this point in the race. We have been pushing very, very hard to get through the field in this one, but to the outside we go as we head towards turn 1, and again we go a little bit deep, but not as badly as before, and we do keep it on the island. But a bad exit, and Armstrong is on the right hand side there somewhere. No, he slots in behind. So we have got the move done on Marcus Armstrong, and up into the lead as Mick Schumacher retires from the race with a mechanical issue, and it's another weekend to forget for the German. And now GHIOTTO has a mechanical failure right at the same moment as Mick Schumacher at different parts of the circuit. So not great timing for all of them, but for us, we've been re-overtaken by Armstrong into the Della Roger chicane. So we're on to the final lap then. We have a look to the inside. Armstrong defends all the way to the inside line. We send it around the outside as we go on board with Armstrong. Very close. Bit of contact made there as Armstrong understeers into us, sends us a little bit wide through turn 2, and Armstrong gets a good switchback and retakes the position as we head through Curva Grande. So let's see if we can re-overtake him throughout the rest of this lap. Not long to go, and only one DRS zone to help us. Very late on the brakes into the Della Roger chicane, but missing both of the apexes there quite badly, and that's cost us time. Robert Schwartzman is now in the fight for second position. We don't want to lose this, so we may just need to hold on to what we've got and not try anything too crazy, because Armstrong's gotten away through the middle sector. So you can see really pushing hard there and right on the limit, and almost losing control on the exit of the second Lesmo, and on the run towards Ascari. We are just not close enough to Marcus Armstrong. We're going to throw everything at it through here though. Very aggressive over the curbs, but again it unsettles the car, loses us some time, and unfortunately it is not going to be enough. And Marcus Armstrong with some robust defense is going to hold on to take the win here for the sprint race at Monza. It's going to be P2 for us. No radio from Jeff about that one, but I suppose I can't complain too much. We did beat Matsushita, so that's a few points back in the championship.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for ART today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
An amazing race today, and a very well-deserved one too. The team worked very hard to get exactly the right setup out of the F2 car. It works for them, and the results speak for themselves. ARTGP winners today.
So there you have it. It is going to be Marcus Armstrong standing on top of the podium, P2 for us. So it's a double podium for this weekend, with Robert Schwartzman bringing home third.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Yuki Tsunoda takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Marcus Armstrong. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next instalment in a few weeks' time. Take care. From Davide and I, it's goodbye.
So there we have it, the end of the sprint race, and back in the championship lead by a singular point with 2 rounds to go in the championship. Things are getting spicy towards the end of this one, but that's how we like it in Formula 2. So yeah, decent run for us this time. Definitely could have beat Armstrong if we just drove a bit better, basically, but unfortunately that was not the case. But anyway, can't be too disappointed getting a championship lead back and putting us on the right side of the coin heading into Russia. So that's really the best we can ask for. Matsushita, though, still in terms of the round, was able to close up. So we need to outscore him in the next round, ideally, and that'll put us in good stead heading into the final round in Abu Dhabi. So that'll be the target for the next time out, to make sure we do outscore Matsushita, make sure he doesn't go into the final round with the championship lead. So that's the target. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, as for this race, decent result. Definitely could have won if we drove a little bit better, but well, that's the way it goes sometimes. And we did a decent job to get through the traffic a bit more efficiently than Matsushita. I'm still trying to comprehend that save that Artem Markelov managed. I think if Matsushita wasn't there on the outside line of Markelov, he probably would have spun out. I think Matsushita, that bit of contact actually sort of corrected Markelov's car mid-slide and actually sort of helped him. So in a way that was very, very lucky, and lucky for both of them not to sustain any damage or crash completely during that incident. So yeah, Matsushita will be I guess thankful for that, and he did manage to make a few moves on of course DARUVALA, Markelov, Lundgaard, so he came through the field quite a bit too, relatively speaking. So it's going to be a tough title fight for the final 2 rounds. Looking forward to it. I'll see you then. Goodbye.